Yo, what's up guys? It's Steven here from Cymatics, and the day to get on the VYPR Early Access list has come. Before you get into it, I actually just want to tell you a couple things about VYPR because we've kind of been in the dark about this whole thing up until this point. Honestly, it's just because we've been busy. Like, this product is by far the biggest and most comprehensive thing to date, and we actually had pushed the day back from our original release date thinking it would give us more time to finish everything and tidy it up, but the only thing it did, it made Drew and Andre add more to the product, get more studio sessions in, so it actually ended up getting crazier. But the good news is that on October 22nd, we will be dropping VYPR, and there's a lot of great stuff, so let's get into it. All right, so the first thing you need to know about VYPR is actually the arsenal of world-class melodies and compositions that this thing comes with. Easily, this is the thing that actually sets VYPR apart from anything we've ever done. It was all the crazy studio sessions that we actually had invested in, and it really took the product over the top, because when you bring in a Grammy-nominated pianist to come down and actually lay down melodies hour after hour after hour, you know, it puts a lot of work on the production team to actually chop up all that stuff. But what we got out of it was like straight gold. It wasn't just like the same thing as a producer drawing in some different chord progressions or anything like that. This guy was doing a lot of great unique stuff, adding a lot of flair to it. There was a lot of even character in each of the notes, because it's just like, you know, we were really calling it unquantized gold. And it wasn't just a pianist coming in, it was actually a lot more musicians that really took this thing over the top. There was one percussionist that came in over to Drew's house, and you know, once he got in his studio, this guy, we had to carry loads of percussion instruments because he had been collecting percussion instruments for over 40 years. And everything from African drums to drums from Mexico to stuff he collected overseas. I mean, this guy had been playing and collecting instruments for so long. And we wanted to actually hear every single sound we could to get him to play different rhythms, get one-shots, so you could use it for your own production. And it came out really awesome. We even had a harpist come in and play different harp melodies that sound like they would instantly make some sort of creative Travis Scott hit song. Right? It was really, really a fun project to work on, and I think that, you know, just the fact that we got all these different sessions in is that the melodies in this thing, when it comes to making beats and stuff, is going to be way next level. So the next thing you need to know about VYPR is actually the perfectly designed 808s, the hard-hitting synth basses, and the real guitar bass sounds that we actually brought in. When it comes to modern hip-hop and trap, it's all about being diverse and bringing a unique sound to your beats. And it's not just about having the classic 808 in there. You gotta have a lot of even different types of 808s for different situations. Even if you look at an artist like DaBaby, I mean, that short little hard-hitting 808 has been, you know, dominating and a really interesting sound. But then you got, you know, different types of sounds across the board. You know, somebody might be using like a Reese type bass, which is, you know, that big synth bass. And really what we wanted to do is we wanted to include all of that. And even the real bass guitarist, you know, we wanted him to come in and actually record a lot of different samples. You know, some of it was just like a one hit with different character on it, or maybe he like slapped the bass guitar, so you then can take those one shots and bring them into your own production. But also just straight up laying down bass riffs for you guys, okay? So the actual bass selection in VYPR is insane. For when it comes to making hip hop beats, you're gonna have a lot of different interesting things to take your beats way to the next level. And the last thing that's super important is actually the drum collection that comes with this thing. The drums are absolutely an enormous portion of VYPR, and it's something that's going to give you resources for, honestly, the next 3 to 5 years of creativity. Because when you have something, a sound library like VYPR, our goal with this thing was kind of be the last sample pack or last product you actually needed to make great hip-hop beats for a long time, because we've all bumped into writer's block. We've all bumped into that creativity block where we, you know, everything's starting to sound the same, or you can't get that new type of sound. And what we wanted was an endless pool of different sounds that you could keep diving into, keep finding new stuff every time you went to go make something. And one of the most interesting things about the entire drum collection that actually comes with it is that it's all very well organized depending on the types of music that you're looking to make. If you're looking to make more of a 90s hip-hop vintage type vibe, you would just dive into those folders and you're going to have all the different types of hi-hats and kicks, and, you know, maybe some of those like stomp kicks and basses that you're going to need to use to make that style of music. If you wanted to make something that sounds more modern, or maybe like you want to find some nostalgic type melodies that might feel like a Juice WRLD type beat, we have literally our melodies organized by mood. There's a lot of interesting stuff in here, and to even accomplish something like this, you know, before our team even started the VYPR project, they literally just sat down and actively studied all different types of successful hip-hop music for the past 30 years. And when we did this, our whole mindset opened up. You know, when we do this before you even go to make a sound library like VYPR, all of a sudden your brain starts to see all the different great things you can actually do with it. And you know, that's what was exciting about this project. After we studied every single type of hip hop music, honestly, this ended up being the biggest sound library we've ever done by far. Not to mention, if you really think about it, this thing's gonna have over 3,000 samples, loops, melodies, compositions, and it's actually even bigger than that, but we don't have, like I said, Drew's still adding stuff till this very second. If you really break it down, there's a lot of guys in hip hop space that are selling melody packs that have 20 melodies for like 40 bucks and not even offering the full license to use this stuff. They'll say, hey, you get a limited license, you know, you can sell this many records with there, this many beats, but if a beat goes big, we're gonna collect our royalties. Guess what? That's called double dipping. That's not what we wanted to do with this resource. We wanted to give you guys something where you don't have to worry about sample clearance. You don't have to worry about somebody trying to cut into your piece of the pie. And you know, you make a one-time investment on VYPR, and you're literally going to have something that you can make money on through selling beats for the next 3 to 5 years. Okay, I can't express how valuable this really is. So with that being said, you actually have a full license to use every single sound, melody, composition, drum sample in your productions, and you can go sell that. You can go get placements. Yeah, you can put up records on Spotify. You can do all that without having to worry about somebody to come collect royalties. And there's actually a lot of other stuff we wanted to add on to this product as bonuses, just because, you know, the community's been so supportive, but there were some really important things that we thought would be next level. So the first thing we wanted to add was actually our Venom synth collection. And this is actually where our top sound designers, the thing that Cymatics is essentially known for, really dove in and was looking at hip hop and trying to create different patches for Omnisphere, Massive, and Serum. So you guys really have a big collection of sounds that you guys can use over time, and maybe take some of those MIDI files that our Grammy-nominated pianist was working with, you drag in some of the sounds that were used, or some of our sound designers maybe have created, and you really can create a lot of different combinations of interesting things. The next thing we have is actually an entire MIDI collection expansion that's going to give you a ton of extra MIDI files and different compositions to actually work with as a producer. And as you guys know, in the hip hop and trap space, you know, melodies are essentially everything. They're one of the things that helps you stand apart. And we felt like doubling down and giving you an entire unreleased MIDI pack on top of this for free was actually be really huge. One of the things I was personally really excited about is actually the Serpent Lo-Fi collection. We wanted to give you guys everything you need to make that nostalgic lo-fi sound that's actually absolutely dominating YouTube right now. And I think one of the things that's interesting is that, you know, lo-fi has a lot of similarities to like vintage hip hop or like 90s hip hop sounding stuff with like kind of like a new flair on it. And I think when it comes to making beats, a lot of that stuff actually crosses over, and you can use a lot of those interesting sounds to create some very nostalgic type beats. And for a lot of newer producers or even advanced producers that want to increase their workflow speed, we're actually including something called Rattle Hip Hop Drum Frameworks. And what this is going to be is these are going to be quick drum frameworks to get your ideas down as fast as possible. Think about having the MIDI tracks laid out for your kicks, your snares, your hi-hats, your different percussion. You could drag in different things, and this is all about speed and laying down ideas very, very quickly. Our top producers actually laid down the stuff that they use to make beats as fast as possible. Things that are really going to, I'm telling you, speed your workflow up a lot. And there's actually a lot to learn from, especially if you're a newer producer, just seeing inside how these frameworks are set up. All right, and the last thing we're including is only for the first 150 people who get VYPR, you're actually going to get an exclusive VYPR USB with secret sounds on it. We just want to go over the top and give you guys something exclusive for the people who are super dedicated and are excited to get their hands on it. But just keep in mind, every single time we've done exclusive USBs, they sell out, I kid you not, in 2 minutes. All right, and the fact that we're only selling 1,750 licenses to VYPR, you guys know how valuable having this resource actually is. And if you want to get your hands on it, you have to get on the early access list. So with that being said, to get your hands on VYPR, you need to do a couple things. One, get on the early access list. You should be watching it, I'm guessing, on the webpage, or if it's on social, make sure you go to the early access page. After that, enter your name, your email, as well as your phone number. This will just give you a simple text message alert as well as an email alert before it goes live to the public. Because Cymatics community is over millions and millions of producers, so this is actually going to give you a head start, a 1 hour head start specifically, before we release it to the public on all our socials. So with that being said, I hope you guys are excited about VYPR. This is going to be something that's going to take everybody's production to the next level. It's unlike anything we've ever done before. Anyways, I can't wait till you guys get your hands on it. Peace out.